Hello and welcome to this podcast interview on behalf of the BIU. I'm Callum Murray and my guest is Austria's Julian Eberhard, the recently retired biathlete who won 4 IBU World Cup victories and 2 World Championships bronze medals in a career spanning 15 years. Julian is now an athlete ambassador for the BIU, and the experience he gathered during his long career means he has some great advice for junior and up-and-coming athletes. So, Julian, welcome to this podcast interview. I wanted to start by asking you how you got into biathlon. I guess that Austrians are more renowned for downhill skiing than cross-country skiing and shooting.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I come from a sporty family, and at the beginning I tried different sports like soccer, triathlon, but also ski jumping and cross-country skiing. But in 1995, I was just under 10 years old. Alfred Eder, a former Austrian biathlete, finished his active career, and he created a race series for children and younger people and included the best of them in his own team. And many of my teammates from this time joined me up to the highest level in World Cup and Olympic Winter Games, like Simon Eder or my brother Tobias. And even my coach, Alfred, was also part of my long career.
Okay. And I know you're in the police. How have you been able to juggle your time as an athlete with your career in the police? I mean, those are two demanding careers side by side.
I started my education as a police officer at the age of 21, which I completed after 4 years. After that, I got the support and the time off to practice my sport to the best of my ability. However, I was always able to gain insights into the police professions and gain experiences. Now, after the end of my career as an athlete, I have the opportunity to work as a police officer.
And looking back over 15 years or so since you began your career, how would you describe yourself as a young athlete? Are there things you know now that you wish you'd known then?
Yeah, of course, experience is the highest asset of any person. So on the way to the top level of the sports, there are many crossroads where you have to take and make decisions. So many of them were right and some of them, of course, were wrong. But I believe that you can learn a lot from mistakes and they are part of the development. So the right amount of training is one of those things, but as a young athlete, you always want to do your maximum and forget sometimes to take care of your right recovery. And this is one tip from me. So also take a look on your recovery, then you can make the best efforts.
Yeah, interesting. During your career, did you change in the way you prepared for races?
Yeah, of course. And over the time, you get a lot of routine. You also have the opportunity to gain experiences and to learn from others. And I have to learn to be much more mental prepared for competitions. And that has certainly been the key to be better and make better performances.
How did you prepare yourself mentally then?
I imagined the progress of the races. I looked at the races, I looked at the shooting range, and I'm mentally prepared for this in my inner eye.
So you visualized the race.
The important parts of the race I visualized, and during the race, I made definitely the same which I visualized, and this helped me a lot.
Okay, that's interesting. So now you've retired as an elite athlete. You retired a year ago. Will you remain involved in biathlon? And if so, how?
I always stay in touch with the sport, I think, because it was my life and I think it will be my life. Certainly, analyze the competitions for TV and try to bring interesting content about biathlon to the fans. And I'm also involved with the BIU as an athlete ambassador for integrity. It is important to me to keep a fair and respectful environment for athletes, coaches, and the supporting staff.
But what does your role as an athlete ambassador for the BIU involve?
Yeah, I think that there is a lot of things to do, even if it is a very familiar atmosphere between the teams and also among the fans. And the term biathlon family can be felt everywhere. It is important to be present. And however, with the founding of the BIU, everything was put in a professional way, and the IBU has played a pioneering role ever since, I think. There will always be challenges, but I believe that the conditions have been created to master them in the best possible way.
And do you think biathlon is at risk from integrity issues?
Yeah, I think that you have to be prepared. If something happens in this way, you need the basics that you can deal with this problem. But now we have really good conditions, and I really am glad that I'm be a part of them.
So when you were competing and training, how did you relax? And do you do other sports?
Yeah, a lot. I really love to do sports, and now I'm father of two daughters, and I'm really glad that I can show them the active lifestyle. And now we are going to cycle, we are going in the mountains, we are climbing. We try to do some sports like tennis, and it's great here in Austria because you can do this every time and everywhere. And yeah, I really enjoyed it that I have much more time for this now, and I'm happy to do this.
Looking back over your career, do you have any regrets? Is there anything you would have done differently?
I feel that I could have certainly enjoyed my life, my time in my life as athlete much more, and even enjoy the successes more. It is natural that as an athlete you are always chasing for the next goal, but I believe that with a certain ease you can achieve maybe more. So in the end, it's not the medals or the successes that remain. It's the experiences with the teammates, for example, and the life as an athlete.
So, what advice would you give to young athletes who are just starting out on their biathlon careers?
I would explain to a young athlete that they have to take care of their bodies. Only a healthy body can be trained and give maximum performance to you. So a balanced endurance training and a well-planned strength training are the basics for a long career. But the most important thing is to have fun and to follow the goals with a lot of joy.
So looking forward from here, what are your career goals?
I'm currently in a phase which I'm completing my sports career and tackling new challenges. So life as an athlete shapes you, and so I have new goals again. I can well imagine passing on my knowledge in a different role in biathlon or other sports, for example.
Coaching, you would consider?
Yeah, I think coaching with young athletes is a very interesting part, and we will see. Of course, it will take some time, but after a little time for my family, I will come back, and I think I can do such things. Yeah.
And would you continue to balance that with your career in the police?
We will see. Now that I have the role as integrity ambassador, and it really fits well with the job in the police, and maybe this is a thing we can compare much more. And yeah, I will see.
Okay. And finally, are there any integrity issues that are not being properly addressed in biathlon, in your view?
Yeah, as I said before, I think that now with the BIU we have a really good platform where athletes can go through and went to them and ask their questions. And this is important. When I was an athlete, these things weren't not here, and now the athlete had somebody they can speak at first with the ambassadors if they want, and later we can bring them to the BIU, and yeah, I think it's a really good thing, and I'm glad that I'm part of them.
Julian, that's great. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for joining us for this podcast interview.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.